Right, so still blending the sky. The horizon clear. A picture there that I'm a bit of a reference to. As I took while walking on the coast. I don't quite remember where it is, but I'm not copying it too tightly. So just blend the colours a little bit. Just mixing my blue, white and a little bit of crimson. A little bit too crimson, a bit more white on top. And then more or less the same there. Ooh, picked up a bit too much crimson. I've got a deep edge canvas here, and I normally paint the edges while I'm painting the rest so that I've got the same colour. But I think it would take rather a lot of time if I did that now for the video, so perhaps I'll have to do that later. Just softening a little bit. Planning to go to my art group today, but it was very snowy and cold, so I've decided to hibernate and do this instead. Don't know how many people will be there, just if they live a bit closer. And what it's like where you live right now, it's just the end of January here, and the snow we've had all year in Devon. Right, that's not too bad. Can't exactly see the sun, you can just see kind of a lighter patch that tells you it's the sun. Right, I'll go over that some more in a minute. There's going to be a rock there. Sitting in the sea, this lower line will be more or less level. Using a bit of Payne's grey for that, and just suggest that there's some lighter and darker bits, but as I say, I need to go over it all This is just the kind of the base coat. And I'll probably put a few reflections, but for now that's just shows us where the, and then I've got another rock there somewhere. I'll put the sea in, so I won't do too much detail there. And a few rocks there with a lot of waves splashing over them in a minute. And then I'm planning to put, there's wildflowers in the front of my painting, but I'm going to perhaps make them a little bit bigger than they actually are, and they'll be about at the start about a third of the way up there, and it go down a little bit there, and just curve around there, and draw it in with a pencil if you're happy with that, but I quite like to map it out with my brush, and the sort of little folds of flowers, thrift, which you do get growing by the sea in Devon and Cornwall, as well as other places I'm sure. So that's roughly where they will be. And a little bit more white in my pot. Do you find with acrylic painting you go through quite a lot of white? If it was watercolour you probably wouldn't use any, but that is one of the differences. So I'll just map that out. It's kind of a bit more grey in the distance. You hear the birds shouting away in the garden. It's not my cat, he's here lying in his chair in a little sleep. Says it's far too cold for a cat to go outside. And a brighter green here, which I will next put flowers over, but just map out where they'll be. Oops. So I was a bit disappointed when I got this canvas home. There was a bit of a dent in it, but a good tip if you do find you've dented it, whether it was me or whether it was like it when I bought it, I don't know, but if you wet the back with a damp cloth and then let it dry out, sometimes just once is enough to get rid of a dent, or you might need to repeat it. That usually solves the problem. And I can't see it now, it's to one side, I can't quite remember which, so I got rid of that. It's going to be quite difficult carrying canvases around without pressing them up against something, so to remember that one. If it doesn't go with the first wetting, do it again. Might have to do it 2 or 3 times, but it does usually go. Right, that's roughly where the ground's going to be. And I'm going to put the sea in. I'll just put it fairly blue at the moment, although I've got to remember to leave a patch reflecting the sun down here. I've got most of that in, just have to put a bit of blue over it probably. And it comes right down almost to the foreground. Right, then I'll mix up plenty of blue and white. Probably have it slightly brighter than it is realistically. And find if there's a straight line, if I sort of put the brush where it should be and then look ahead to where I'm going, as I might have said before. And a little bit of blue leading up there, but nothing too much. A bit of white to it. Straight line under my rock, make him sit in the water. It's the same thing with boats. If you're having trouble making your boat look as if it's floating, if you put a straight line under it, because obviously the water would sit straight along the bottom unless it's not, perhaps it's slightly beached or something, then it's not so. There we are. Go over that a little bit later. White. And little bits of yellow show through, that's okay because make it look a bit more sunshiny. And vary how much blue or white I put down to make wave shapes. Paint. I've got a list of colours, but this is ultramarine blue. It's one of my favourites. It's quite a warm blue. I'll go over the rocks again, but I just want to have a rough idea of where I was going to put them. Then I can stand back and look at it and move them if I want, or leave them where they are if I don't want. Always a good idea to put a painting aside for a little while and look at it with fresh eyes, and then you see things you perhaps hadn't noticed before, or thought it was okay and then, oh no, I don't like that. Or sometimes you just know there's something wrong with it and can't work out quite what. So if you take your eyes off it for a little while, do something else, have yourself a coffee or something, and then it strikes you what was wrong with it. You think, why didn't I see that before? Reflections have kind of got less as they go down to the foreground, but I'll leave a few in there. So that's kind of the first stage. I'll put the flowers in at some point. I think that this should go a little bit closer together. Right, that's the first stage. Wash my brush out well. Probably soften the colours on the rocks slightly. Especially in the distance. A little bit on that side, especially because it's where the sun, that's where the sun's hitting them. But I got rid of my husky throat, now it seems to have come back. Because my granddaughter had a cold and she didn't learn how to cover her nose up when she sneezes yet. She's not 12 months old yet. Thank you, granddaughter. I think you've given it me back again. Probably I gave it to her in the first place, I'm not sure. So that's the first stage. I'll come back and do another one and show you another stage, and we'll see how we go from there.